This chapter had a ton of different elements going on, but I think the real standout moment was where we got to actually see this hidden village and people amongst the clouds. One Piece, chapter 249, the village hidden in the cloud.
Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and epic and tantalizing tale of One Piece. Our last chapter saw the primary focus being on Ganfal being called upon by Chopper to kind of come and save him from Shura, one of the four evil dick priests of Enel, the god of Skypiea, current god of Skypiea. And we also found out, of course, that Ganfal was unseated at some point by Enel, but that, of course, it was confirmed that he was this former god of Skypiea. So that's how things left off, and that's how things pick up. It was like just a clash between where like Ganfal nailed, Shura, and was kind of in midair, and it looked as if he was flying off his bird. So I don't know if they clanged together, clashed together. Doesn't really matter because the battle rages on from the last chapter into this one. So regardless of whether, he did fall off or he didn't or whatever, it really makes no difference because they're still fighting back and forth in this one. And Chopper's just like, Sky Knight, and he's really kind of just amazed by the whole thing that's going on over here. But Ganfal goes and he goes to turn and says, after he did go through and nail him with his spear, doesn't sound right. And after he attacked and hit Shura with his spear, made contact with, rubbed up against, pierced, all sounds dirty. Anyway, to a dirty mind. But he goes and comes around and he's like, one more pass, just need one more strike and we can take him out. And then we go and this is kind of cool because it hops around to a few different things, but then we go and all of a sudden he goes and he says, and Shura says, string challenge, right? And we're like, okay, what the fuck is that? And then it goes and it cuts to just like this area that we've never been to, and it's like the cloud village, secret village in the clouds where the Shandians live, right? And there's this little kid, Aisa, so Aisha, and this little kid that's coming back and is kind of being scolded for going into the upper yard again, and something about getting some Varse, which someone mentioned as Varth, but till you give me an explanation as to why, like other people do, that it is, I'm going to go with what it says, which is Varse. So he's stolen some and is kind of being scolded for it. And really all this is it's a good way to introduce that there is a whole nother population of people, these gorillas, these Shandians. And we wind up finding out that they are all the descendants of this great warrior Kalgara. And Kalgara's final words were to go and to bring here, let me bring up the thing here, is to bring back the light of Shandora. We're introduced as well to a Shandian warrior, Wyper. That's an original name there, and I can think of several different. And it's funny because you would think that you think of like ass wipe or something like that. No, but when I think of Wyper, I think of like windshield wiper for some odd reason. And this guy, at least, kind of reminds me almost like of like American Indian. He's got like the tattoo and stuff all over his face. Which is kind of cool, like the tribal looking tattoo, but he's kind of got like the mohawk and just the little look and just the way that these guys are lean and built and how they move. And even though he's got a little magical rocket launcher and their tiki masks, that just seems like the few that we see in the village are like that. So anyway, he winds up having this conversation with this unknown woman. They don't introduce to her, but she's just like, she's explaining to him what's been going on, and she's like, do you understand that, Ganfal wound up coming to the aid of one of the people, one of the Skypians, that actually went and decided to defy Enel. And it's the first time since Enel took over and was seated within his reign of power here in the 6 years that he has been in power. So we find out that Enel's obviously been God for 6 years, and and he's helped him in this and that. So the whole thing about it is that she's trying to basically say, like, listen, Ganfal is now in the upper yard, and he's never really been our enemy and fought against us. So she's kind of trying to say, like, hey, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or like, hey, maybe we can utilize him, this and that. And this guy just kind of seems like the brainless, dickless, hopeless, worthless. One of those, we've got to fight because that's what it says. The ancient Kalgara's last words were, bring back the light of Shandora, and the only way we could do that is fucking fight, fight, fight. So, at least that's how his mentality is, because he gets enraged at her, it seems like, for really no reason, you know. She's just kind of laying out the facts and what's going on before him, and he's just like, yeah, so, you know, so if Ganfal and one of the priests kill each other, that washed up old man, I don't really care, you know. And really, it's that type of mentality that goes and keeps people from, you know, from coming together and being peaceful, at least in my opinion. Now, this may change as the story progresses, but this character, Wyper, how he's initially introduced, just seems to be kind of a pig-headed, I'm not going to listen to anything, this is how it is, tradition, you know, and all that type of stuff, and we just must fight, you know. There's no compromise. But and again, that's not exactly what, you know, what's going on, and maybe there is more than meets the eye as the chapters unfold, but that's what we see right now. So it was kind of cool, though, to be introduced to and see that there's this whole other civilization up there as well. So there's a lot going on in Skypiea. We're then taken for a brief couple of pages, and we actually get to see Zoro and Robin and Nami, and the threesome that's not yet happening. But I know if I was Zoro, I'd be taking advantage of that shit right quick. But anyway, so especially with Robin and the extra hands thing, whew, boy. You know, don't even get me started. So there, Robin is just looking at this, like, this well that's underneath this tree and everything else, and how things just aren't natural up there. And she's, you know, the archaeologist in her's coming out and being like, wow, this is just cool, you know, because they have no idea, you know, that this civilization that this tree would have grown like this and everything else. And she's just amazed by it. And Zoro's just kind of like, yeah, whatever, that's great. And then he's like, hey, Nami, and he looks up at her, and she's up in a tree. He's like, what do you see from up there, you know? And then it's kind of cool, because and this is only like a quick 2-page thing, real quick thing right here. And then she just goes, and she's, you know, obviously looking out with her binoculars or whatever. And then she's just like, this island? No way! So who knows what she sees from up there? Not really quite sure. But it is kind of neat to just leave you hanging there, you know. And I like when it's a little bit harder to cover in a review when all these different things happen. But I do like when they show you 2, 3, 4, 5 different angles in a chapter, and that's what this one does. So then we go back to the fight between Ganfal and Shura. And this Shura, like I said, he said something about, you know, string challenge, right? And I have no idea what that is. The only thing I can think of is maybe it's like a puppeteer, like a marionette, you know, pulling the strings on somebody. Maybe he's able to, like, control his movements or something. But anyway, Ganfal thinks that he's going to be able to go and wrap this shit up. And as Shura kind of comes around for another attack, all of a sudden Ganfal just feels like real heavy and cannot move, you know? So that's kind of where I got the whole, maybe the marionette's like he's pulling his strings, like he's keeping him in place or something. So Ganfal can't move, and you know, and you just kind of see it all happening in slow motion, you know? Chopper's like, what's going on? This battle, oh my god, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then the thing winds up going and ending, well, the chapter ends shortly after this, but it winds up ending with, and as at least I've seen so far in One Piece, and everybody's told me, apparently getting pierced through the chest and out the back is not a killing blow for most characters anyway, because I have yet to see anybody important, I guess, or that had been introduced not in a flashback die. But anyway, he gets run through by the spear of Shura, by his lance, and then, you know, he just says, oh, the mysterious string challenge, you know, even a withered old has-been like you can enter upper yard, but don't think for a moment that you can overcome the priest challenge. You know, and then he's like, Enel is all-powerful. You'll never reach his heights, Sky Knight. So it looks like he ran him through and then just dropped his ass off the edge of the world there. And then that is how the chapter ends. So very cool stuff. And again, you know, when I miss something in one of these big ones, it's fine. I'll try to always come back around in a later chapter and be like, hey, I screwed up. But for the most part, I try to, you know, kind of go over and cover everything at least a little bit and kind of tell you where my thoughts lie on things. And sometimes I may be off base. Other times I may be spot on. I don't know. So, but really, my chapter question is what are your thoughts on the Shandians and this I don't know if he's like the leader of them or what. It just says that he's a warrior, but it's a Wyper. But what do you think about the Shandians and what was briefly explained about them? You know, obviously this whole, you know, bringing back the light of Shandora, this is what this warrior Kalgara, you know, said, and blah, blah, blah. And there's these whole people, a whole civilization hidden away in some magical cloud village that are, you know, they think they're fighting the good fight, you know. And I don't really know if they are. I don't know who's right or wrong, or if it's just everybody's kind of misguided. But I just want to know what your thoughts are on the Shandians and their introduction in this chapter. Remember to leave your answer in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and because they always help. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. We will look forward to catching all of yous in the next one, nation.
I like big boobs and I can't not lie. Those other brothers like them thighs.